But it's also for us, because we're here at the NATO summit, about the kind of operational engagement that we have. We've had nearly 30 missions, we've deployed 80,000 people across the world. And the European Union has moved from, if you like, being the countries that have needed security to the countries who help to provide security. A security partner, especially for the United States, but no longer consuming security, providing security. So I wanted to just briefly touch on what the EU does in terms of security and defence. Because again, when we look at the challenges that we're facing in terms of budget reductions, getting the necessary capabilities in these difficult times is even more important. And the key to doing that is to do more together. We spend in Europe about $200 billion on defence every year. And we need to maximise the output from what is really significant expenditure. That means we need to find new initiatives. In Europe, we call them pooling and sharing, which is how do we work together with the 27 countries to make sure that we pool and share our capabilities in the right way. Research and development that we can do together. Work that we did on improvised explosive devices that is important for every country, not just in the European Union, but all countries, and especially the United States, operational in some of the most difficult and challenging circumstances across the world. Air-to-air refuelling, which is something we're now engaged with in working to see what more we can do to support that as a pooling and sharing capability. And maritime surveillance. And of course, training alongside the research and development. For me, this is important, but only the start. On all of this, we have to have close cooperation with NATO. We're often working together, and we need to be complementary to each other in what we do. I think there's some really excellent examples of NATO's partnership with the European Union, our work with the United Nations, with the OSCE, and other organizations. But I think I would argue that today, more than ever, as well as the work that we're doing with those organizations, there's very little that we actually do without working in partnership somewhere. Virtually nothing that I do can I think of as doing on our own. We are in partnership with someone. And that is a good and positive aspect of how we all need to operate in the world. It's building on the partnerships and doing what we're all good at as effectively as we possibly can together. There is no partner that matches the partner of the United States. President Obama said that America has no better partner than Europe. Well, I've turned that round and say Europe has no better partner than the United States. And that's because we have history and culture, but as I've said at the beginning, those values that mean that we can work together more and more effectively. Last year we signed a framework participation agreement, which means we can work even more closely when the European Union is doing its common security and defence missions. And that's an important step in the right direction because it enables future US participation and engagement with us in a different way. We're working again together with the United States to look at how we develop our response to the challenges I've described, such as the Horn of Africa. And we've had a very successful relationship in the last 60 years because of that shared economic, foreign policy, security interest that has been so dependent. But my final thought would be this, that our success in this relationship for the 21st century will depend even more on our capacity to work together to preserve and to promote those shared values and principles. And I believe by working together in our joint diplomatic action, as we've seen on many, many issues, not least on Iran, which we're engaged with now, then I believe that we will be even more successful in supporting the aspirations of people all over the world who want what we have, democracy as everyday life. Thank you.